Hey Tommy, Rob Wiles, Swing Vision Pro. I wanted to get your video out to you. I apologize it's taken so long. I have just been extremely busy. But here it is for you. And I want to go through some of the things. These are your first couple of shots, so we're not going to lend a whole lot of credibility to those. But I do want to bring some things to your attention. Some of the things I like and some of the things I dislike. First of all, let's start with some of the things I like. The very first thing I like is your knee flex. Your knee flex is to here. Okay, and then I bring it down. It's going to put the weight right across the balls of your feet. And this is exactly what we want. You know, we talked about this over and over again. In order to make any kind of athletic move, whether it's basketball, tennis, whatever it is, we need to be on the balls of our feet so we can move laterally, back, forth, any way we want to at a moment's notice. And the golf swing is no different because we're making an athletic move into a stationary object, but we're still making a very nice athletic move. Okay, the one thing that we did talk about and that we want to improve on a little bit is the spine angle. Okay, if I follow your spine angle here, I'm going to end up with 1, 2, and 3 different angles going on. And I told you, in an ideal perfect world, what we'd like to see is from your waist, this coming back up like this, which would mean your head coming back up, your head coming back up out of the way. You're kind of looking over the golf ball at this point. If your head was back here, I would have more of a down your nose look at the golf ball, something similar to this. And once we have that spine created, that is our axis for us to rotate around. It's just like that bolt we talked about. I can take that nut, squirt right on, squirt right off. If I've got all these bends going on, it's not really going to happen that much, okay? So let me take you through your swing. And again, please, this is the first couple of ones. So I just want to bring your attention to these so you know. And then we'll highlight the improvements we made as we went through. Okay. So here we go. I'm taking your swing. Got start. Okay. Now, right. I'm going to get rid of all the trash right here now so I can show you exactly what's going on here. Right here is the beginning of your block. And what I mean your block is what we talked about is your chin is lower than your shoulder. Okay? Once that happens, the only way you can get your arms back into a backswing of any sort of power or anything at all is to bend your arms. Okay? And as you know, I'm looking for that left straight arm to be completely straight to use as a guide to get us right back down into the proper angle of attack and right back down behind our golf ball. So once you block right here, which is your shoulder is above your chin, we're going to see as I take you back, your arms are going to start to bend. They start right here and now they get pretty severe. All right, I'm going to show you. We got 2 issues we got going on here. Okay, number 1, we see the red circle where you're blocking, and that's creating the problem. I'm going to remove that, and we're going to just see what kind of angle we got here, just so you know. We're looking at about a 54-degree angle. And the other thing that I have an issue with for you is you're coming across the line with your golf ball, with the golf club. Okay, if we look at it like that, and I'm sorry, I have someone coming in on the phone. Actually, I'm just going to let that go to voicemail, and I'll continue with you, and I'll catch that back in just a few minutes. Okay? So in a perfect world, what we'd like to see, again, is we'd like to see this club, and your wrists are cupped a little bit. I'd like to see this club more down the target line because you're doing what we call coming over across the line, and it affects your golf swing in several different ways. But let's go through what we got here. So you got there, and then you start to come back. Okay, we get to here, and this is when we talked about the OS moment. Okay, because I'm gonna get rid of all this stuff and show you. If I show you right here, we got a pretty straight left arm, right? Got a pretty straight left arm. Wrists have maintained flat, and we're flat with the club head. So we've gotten to a good position here, but the problem is we manipulate it to get into that position. And that becomes a timing issue, and we can never play consistent golf if we're always trying to work on timing, unless you have 10, 12 hours a day to put into it, okay? So, and most of us don't, all right? So, we'll bring you back down to this position. Come on through. We're going to bring you on through. And we see at this position right here, Right, that's a very nice release move that you're doing right here because, as I told you before, if we look at the center cup, this cup right here is the very center of my thing. As we watch your ball go through, it's going right past it. So the one thing I do love right here, and we talked about this as far as keeping your head down and not chasing it. Some of your shots you chased and it pulls them to the left, or that pull hook that we were fighting all the time. All right, so let's run through another one. Let's get you up through another one. Let me see what I got. Get all this stuff out of the way and find one that is going to give me some information that will be beneficial to you. Maybe this one or maybe the next one. Let me see. Let me see this right here where it goes. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's look at this one right here and we'll slow it down. All right, so again, we're going to work on the spine angle next time you come in because I really need to see it like this. We got to get this chin out of the way because the chin is just way too low and it's blocking you. But if I take you back on this swing, and here we go, okay, not as bad, right? Let me get you back to the top. So not as bad. If I move all this stuff again and look, now the bend I have, we went from 54 degrees to about 23. So we cut our bend in half. Not only that, you know, when I requested that the shaft be down the target line, now look how much better it is. So that's abbreviating your backswing. And the one other thing I'll bring to your attention is right here. If we look right here, that right elbow is tucked way much better into your side than you were in the beginning. And that's going to allow you to bring that club head right back into the straight impact zone. Okay? So here we go. We're going to take you through. You're going to start to drop in. Very nice drop in right here. Nice wrist cock. You hold off. And there we go. Right down the middle. Little left center middle. You're still right dead center in the fairway. Love the head down. Let's keep that up. Don't chase. Remember we talked about that chasing. That's the last thing we want to do. We want to keep that head down, shoulders level, and make sure that we're not chasing with our eyes because that's going to create that pull hook. All right? So let's go up to another one. This is after we worked for a little while. This is when we started working on your chipping. We're working on the chipping and keeping it in a linear motion where basically the club head is focused and stays down the line for as long as it can, and then comes through, and it's going to allow us to have a lot straighter motion and release. So here we go. We're going to set you up to it. I'm going to take you through it step by step. Here we go. We back it up. Look how long you are on line. I mean, you're a good, at this point right here, you are a good 24 inches away from the ball, and you are still tracking dead ahead. Okay? And what I mean by that, if I were to draw your face in here, you're right on line. Okay? That's beautiful. So, and of course, you know, with our backswing, we're going to come off of that just a little bit right here. And we start to come off of that. And I'm going to leave that line there because I'm going to show you how you get back to that very nicely. Very nicely hit. And now I'm going to stop this right here right now. I'm going to also show you that your club head is actually, it's still actually straight. It's not been opened up like we were opening it up when we were cocking our wrists. So we've tracked back straight with a hooded, if you will, club head. It's not really hooded, but in kind of, that's the best way I can describe it to you. It is still down the line. And we get back to top of our backswing, and here we go. We start to come in, okay? And as we get back in, almost, we're a little bit ahead. We're about right here now, but that's okay because we're coming right back down in the line. And as we come through, boom, all right? The only thing we've done right here just a little bit is we're still not keeping that club face just a square because this ball goes a little to the left, and I'll show you that as far as the trajectory as we move it forward. It goes a little to the left of my line here, and that's just, again, if I take a look at your head right here, we're chasing it a little bit. Our head has started to move, and it's just that little tilt. What happens is, again, we talked about this, is our shoulder angle changes. Our shoulder angle comes like this, left shoulder high, right shoulder low. That's going to be to the left every single time, all right? So what I want and would prefer is that head to stay here, to 1/1000, then you'll look up. Okay? Very nice. All right, let's go to some of the ladder stuff now. I'm going to move you up. This is when we started working with the driver just a little bit. Let me get you set up here and see what I got here. All right, okay. Now, if you'll notice this thing, a couple of things I want you to notice. Number one, we were working with tee heights that were maybe not ideal for you. But number one, I want to see this ball right in the middle of the driver. If you'll notice right now, it's a little inside, closer to the hosel. If I were to draw it like it, it's a little more inside this way than I would like to see it. I'd like to see it right in the middle of the driver. All right? For whatever reason, we've done two things here that have become different from what we were doing with our irons. Number one, here we go with the knee flex. Knee flex is good. It's not as good as it was because we're standing up a little more upright, but spine angle. If we look at your spine angle right here, we've got a pretty good spine angle. All we need to do is bring this head back just a little bit, and we're going to rotate around that spine angle very nicely. So here we go. I'm going to take you through it. So the setup of the driver is a lot better. I'd like to see just a tad more knee flex if I could, please. And we're going to bring it back. Start you back here. Okay. Again, I'm going to get rid of this stuff so you can see the same issue is happening here, though. We're blocking. We're blocking right there. So then our arm has nowhere to go but to bend. Okay. And I think we worked that out in this last couple of swings. But at least now look where your club head is going. Remember, that is so much better, Tommy, than going this way. That's across the line, and we have to reroute like crazy to get that thing back down into where we want it to be. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Here we go. I'm going to bring you back down into it. So we're still continuing to bend. And see, we did the same thing. I'm sorry. We did go across the line here. And we have a pretty severe bend in our arm. All right? I think if I'm not mistaken, we put you into that's a 40-degree bend right there. Let's just see how we come back out of it. Coming back down. Nice move with your left hip to initiate the downswing. Come through. Do you release? You release. Okay. Right here, we're blocking a little bit, which means once we actually hit the ball, our club face is kind of open like this, and anytime we do that, that ball is going to the right, no matter what happens, okay? And as you see, if I show you the center, you'll notice that ball is going to the right. That's the center. This ball is continuing this way. Would have maybe made the first cut of rough, or maybe been out of bounds, okay? And bring you on around. Finish. I like the finish. Love the finish. Love the finish. Okay. When I see this foot vertical, I know you have transferred all your weight. There's two things I notice here, and I know that you've transferred all your weight, is that the foot is vertical and your belly button or belt buckle is pointing to the left of the target line. Anything from here to the target line or left is fine. Anything right of the target line, that means we're leaving money in the bank or weight in the bank that we could have used right there. Okay? So let's take it up to one more. Let me get rid of all this stuff, and I'm going to take it to one of the best ones, I think. Let me see what we got here. Let's watch this one. Let me watch this one real quickly. Bear with me, please. I'll run through it. Let's see, make sure we got what we've got as far as our release. Okay. All right, same kind of issues, all right? Next time I'm going to put you into a different machine, and I'm going to try to work on the elbow. We've really got to get this straight because that is a huge manipulation, Tom, and whenever we do that, it's all timing. It all becomes timing. That's why you get a great one, and then you get 4 or 5 bad ones in a row, okay? And a little bit, we're coming out of our knee flex, and we'll discuss this next time. But you're coming out of your knee flex, and now your weight is really on the back of your heels once that leg straightens completely like that. So it makes it a lot more difficult for us to get back square to the golf ball. But you've made some good improvements, but there's still some things we need to work on, and we'll take care of all those next time. Please, if you have any questions or anything, please give me a call. For right now, work on keeping that left arm straight. I think you said you were going to get one of those keep it straights. That would be perfect. Great idea for you. And let me know when you're ready to come back in, and we'll move forward from there. So for right now, I'll wish you a great big warm aloha.